Hey everyone, Joe Fox here with another episode of Retain Grow Thrive. As you know, this is the Growave podcast. I'm the president over at Growave, and today I'm super excited to introduce our guest. Like Hamish from Order Editing, this is another very young, cool founder who has achieved incredible things in the space in an incredibly short period of time. So without further ado, I want to introduce Shaan from Alia, and he's going to take it away and give us a little bit of info about yourself, man. I know I gave you a lot of props in that first introduction, but tell me how you've done it. I know a lot of our guests are going to be wanting to kind of know your story, the secret sauce, how you guys are doing what you're doing. I mean, I see the incredible results you're achieving for clients. So, tell me a little bit about the journey so far.
Yeah, for sure. And thanks for having me on, Joe. I appreciate it. And thank you for all the kind words. Not sure if I'm deserving
You
of all
definitely
those,
are. You
but
definitely
thank
are.
but thank you. I totally appreciate it, dude. And I got to get some tips from you on how to get bigger, bro. You got some big ass muscles, dude. So
It's just time, dude. It's just time.
I got to get some coaching tips from you, bro. But yeah, man, started the company 2 years ago when I was in university. So yeah, I started the company out of college, and what was happening was I was building this application for my school where students could learn about fintech. This is like pretty far from Shopify, but students could
Yeah,
learn about fintech and get
yeah.
rewarded in my school's currency, which was Husky dollars. Every school,
Nice.
like, you can spend it at the store and stuff like that. So I was like,
Yeah.
students could learn about fintech as industry and get rewarded by our school for doing so. So the idea of like gamified rewards, like
Yes. Yeah. And
rewards education. So
yeah.
that's how we got started. It was really a school project. And
Yeah.
from the school project, I was building this app and I was like, hey, like I think this could actually be used as for a business as a business, right? Like this could be used
Yeah.
for other businesses where people could learn about their business and get rewarded for doing so. And I could maybe make one day, God willing, could make it into a business myself. Um, that was the inception of the idea, right? So before we were a pop up tool, we were kind of more of a loyalty education tool
Yeah.
for our brands. And by brands at that time, we had none. We had two brands, and very much early stage where neither brand was paying us any money, and we were just trying to learn. So that was us 2 years ago. We were making $20 a month. Um, then I graduated from college. I decided to go full time on my business, which at that time wasn't really a business. It was more just an idea and a concept. So the next 6 months, we did whatever we could to bring in clients in the door. Like we would, do cold outbound, straight up cold call people. It was my first time ever doing sales, so I was
Yeah.
trying to figure out how to sell people. Which convincing people to give you money is a difficult thing, which I learned quickly. But um,
Well,
it's a
you've figured something out, my
yeah,
friend. Like, I mean, it's like such a quick growing product, and from everyone I speak to in the space, everyone's loving it. The brands you've got on now, I mean, you said you didn't have any brands at the start, but you've got some big brands on now, like, and I feel like you're adding to that repertoire every week. And obviously, I know Chris, Goodsell, who's now
uh,
on your sales team. Been
actually,
friends with him for a minute, so you guys are crushing it. I just want to dive into a couple of points there.
yeah, sure.
Um, before we go too far. So school projects. So your school must be loving you right now. Like to go from implementing, a an idea as a school project to being, I would say one of the top five quickest growing Shopify apps. I don't think I'd be wrong in saying that. Um, that's incredible. What does your school think about that? What does your family think about that?
Yeah, our school is very supportive of us. So yeah, like they've actually fund they've I mean we're fully bootstrapped, but they've given us just like grants
Yeah,
to
yeah,
help us as we've been growing. They give us like some interns from the school for free. Like they'll cover the cost for our interns, which is cool. So
nice,
that type of stuff is
nice.
fun, right? And my family is super proud. Like at the beginning, I think with same with everyone else, they were kind of like, oh, like I'm not fully sure about this, but you seem confident in this, right?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
now,
So they backed you. They gave you that
yeah,
support.
for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, they always backed me. In the beginning, it was more like, I hope I you feel confident. Like they're like, I'm not sure how I feel about it, but like you seem like you know what this could be. So I'm like I lived with my parents after I graduated from college
Yep.
because didn't really have too much money, so it was like I can live with my parents for free and build
Yep.
this under their roof and see where that goes. So yeah, my family's very supportive of me, and now of course they're like really happy and they have been very supportive from the beginning. And at the end of the day, they kind of wanted to just see me happy, and building this company makes me just really happy in life.
Absolutely, man. That's amazing. That's all. I love to hear these stories because, unfortunately, like sometimes the younger generation does get a bad rap and does get like this negativity, kind of put towards them in the media and from, people who are out of touch with reality. But I feel so blessed and fortunate to be in an industry where I see young people such as yourself, such as Hamish, who are just like,
Yeah,
this is my goal, this is my idea. I'm going to use the Shopify, community to really build something that's impressive and adds a ton of value. And I mean, you've got some legacy competitors, but like you're
yeah,
crushing them out of the water. Like I
mm.
know for a fact that you're taking a lot of people's lunch off their plates, and it's good though. And I think that's important because at Growwave we're a little bit similar. Like we're taking, brands away from legacy competitors, but
Nice,
it's
awesome.
because it's one of those situations where it's like if you offer a better product at a
Yeah,
comparable or better price,
yeah,
it's the
correct,
it's the incumbent's fault for not evolving, right? So like I think competition is healthy, and I think it's as long as it's benefiting the merchant, then it's a win-win. So
totally.
yeah, that's why it's easy for me to jump on and give you praise with barely knowing you because I see this from the external. I know some of the brands you're associated with, and I know some of the people that work for you, and it's nothing but good, positive things. So congratulations on that. To anyone, you know, well, a couple of things I want to unpack. One is your thoughts on the Shopify ecosystem in general. I'd love to.
Totally.
Yeah, because I mean that's been a huge part of the success for yourself and for someone like Hamish is like without the Shopify community, I
Yeah,
have no doubt you would have succeeded, but it's accelerated by the community. So tell
totally.
me a little bit about what that kind of looks like and how the Shopify community has supported Alia.
Yeah, it's such a good question, and yeah, super fortunate to be part of the Shopify community for sure. Like, and I'll tell you why. Honestly, it's because even when we got started, right? Like, we didn't really have much. No one knew us. Like, I didn't come from an ecom background, by the way. Like, I knew zero people in Shopify when we launched,
Yep.
or I also never did anything. Like, I was just like, let's learn what e-commerce is.
Yes.
But
Yep.
at the same time, people were down to hop on a call. 2 years ago when we started, when I was doing these sales calls, how I started these emails, I said like, hey, I'm a university student looking for help on my company, looking for a research,
Nice.
someone to help me with something,
Nice.
right?
Nice.
And people were receptive to that, and people jumped on calls, and they actually, it's supposed to be a research call from their point of view. Obviously, I tried to turn it into a sales calls, and sometimes they'd succeed, and they would actually try out the product. Right
Yep.
now, if we were to go sell into banks, sell into large institutions, healthcare, like it's not the same. Like no one is
Hmm.
going to be like down to try it out because they like you or they semi believe in your product,
Yep.
right? Like the ability for young SaaS companies to sell to e-commerce brands without any traction is unique. Like in
Yeah.
most other industries, you need to have years under your belt. You need to show that it's a great product before people will even get on a call with you.
Yes.
So,
Yep.
for that reason, I think it's a great place for anyone who is looking to build something cool to get on calls with folks who will actually be helpful for you and might actually use your tool if you can convince them that you can give them enough value, or if you can convince them that they should just like you, or if you're just kind of a person that they want to support. That's part of it too. Like, before we were pop-ups, before we had 1,500 brands, before we had the revenue numbers we see today, a lot of people use the app simply because they were like, hey, Shaan seems like a good guy, and like
Yeah. Yeah.
even if this product isn't great, like I want to support him, and like
Yeah.
that is huge for very young founders who are fragile. And then just beyond that, like getting on calls with folks is like the most just super super chill vibes. Like I'll get on a
Yes.
call, and a lot of times the first word will be like, "Hey, bro, how you doing?" Right? Like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
not like a typical greeting for most sales calls in other industries. Over here, it's like, yo, like whatever. It's like you just chill. You're just like, hey, where are you from? Like, oh yeah, like I love that football team. It's just like stuff like that, like very casual. Like people are
Yes.
open to learning, open to trying stuff out. And if it doesn't work, they're gonna uninstall for sure. They're gonna uninstall.
Yeah.
But at
Yeah.
least they'll give you a chance. And if you can prove
Yeah.
value, they'll pay you.
Absolutely. And it sounds to me it's like you did it. I mean, sales I think is such an interesting concept and obviously it's evolved so much. I mean, my first kind of foray into e-com agency tech was my own agency, so it was very
Oh,
much about having to sell the value and sell the value of all of these suite of products that formed a tech stack to continue to add value. But I think you figured it out really well by kind of like figuring out what your in was and then
yeah,
adding that value and everything like that. But to your point, it's like the what we were talking about then around the Shopify ecosystem and getting on and everyone's nice and chill. I think Shopify in its ecosystem is so unique. It's created this big network of all of these partners, but above all, this big network of entrepreneurs such as yourself that want to help each other. So you've
yeah,
got an entrepreneur merchant
hundred
who
percent.
teams up with someone such as yourself who's got an entrepreneurial product, and combining those two
That's true.
fuels everything, and it's all backed by Shopify, right? So it's like it's really really cool to
Yeah,
be a part of that ecosystem, and I think clearly you figured it out at a very young age, is like how important that network is and how important word of mouth is, which is really cool.
yeah, totally. And I guess one thing I want to touch on, Joe, because you kind of reminded me of this, is like the idea of founder to founder sales, right? Like
Hmm. Hmm.
when a founder hops on a call with me, and this is more early days. Again, we're like kind of larger now, so I take less sales calls. We have a great salesperson that helps out, but um, early days it was like, hey, like I'm the founder. Like I used to think that I should be like I'm one of the sales guys. Like we're a massive company, and I'm like one of the sales guys. And then I realized
Hmm.
that like, hey, like these people are also founders. Like they would probably appreciate knowing that they're on the call with the founder of Alia instead of thinking they're on the call with a random sales, with not a random, but like just like a sales guy, right? Like there's a difference.
Absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
and that was where it kind of clicked for me. Like, use that to your advantage, right?
Yeah.
Because most times, if I'm hopping on a sales call with let's say a provider that I want to use, I'm not expecting the founder to be on the call. If I know it's the founder, to me, it feels like a whole different call because
Yes.
they'll be open, they'll be honest. I can be open and honest, and like I'm like, even if it's an expensive service, I'm more likely to convert because it's like I know that being a founder is so hard. So I'll try your thing out simply because like it'd be cool to like I care about supporting other people who are trying to do cool things. So that like founder to founder sales, especially in the early days, is a huge unlock. Because people are just
Absolutely.
like, oh damn, like this is like this kid is 20. That time when I was like 20, 23, 20, 22, 23. Like I see myself in him when I was younger.
Yes. Yeah. And I think it's like that comfortability and that familiarity of like, I had this I recorded an earlier episode today. I'm not sure if you know you Jamil from Other Half.
Yeah,
Big he's very involved in the e-com sphere, and him and his wife have a really cool agency. But I was chatting to him about this. He originally had a background. He was a restaurateur and kind of was in that hospitality space, scaled up a business and sold it. But he kind of, mentioned the same thing, like that founder to founder. Everyone has these levels of, it's not necessarily the wins, it's also the failures, and being able to
yeah,
resonate on those levels of like, hey, we're going through challenges and this is what we found worked. And you can build a lot of rapport very quickly with people who are facing similar challenges or who have in the past.
yeah,
So yeah, to that point, it's a very powerful driver when it's founder to founder, not just because of the wins, but also because of the losses. So
So,
that's awesome. And did I read your post recently correctly that you named the business after your partner? Is that correct? Or your
so
girlfriend?
no, yeah, so it's a funny story. So like, I made the post kind of just to get views and said like, so the reason we named the company Alia, and
Yeah.
when I hop on calls, a lot of people are like, "Oh, is that your girlfriend's name?" And I'm like, "No, it's not."
Okay. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's not. It's not. So essentially, like we initially wanted. I think startups that have Latin names are cool,
Yeah.
and that was like me at 21 years old thinking that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We went through a bunch of Latin. Like I looked up on the internet like cool Latin words. I looked it up. Found like whatever 200, 300 words, and I picked out the 40. One of them is Alius, Alius, which in
Yeah.
Latin means different. So I thought that was nice, right? Like
I
Alius.
like that. Yeah.
Now looking more into Alius, the feminine version of Alius in Latin is Alia, which is
Okay.
our company's name. So
Nice.
it, it is a name in a lot of languages and cultures, but for us, it's a Latin word that means different. And for us, that's important, right? Like I think every company strives to be different, and we're no different, right? And like we like to be different in both internal and external stuff, and just like be unique. So that's how the name came. A lot of people do think it's my girlfriend's name, which is kind of funny. Maybe I think my plan is like when I have my first daughter, at some point in my life, I would name her Alia.
Yeah, no, I love that. And it's got a really good meaning. It's almost one of those business names where the tagline and the ethos of the company comes through in the name, which is really cool.
So,
So
nice.
yeah, very,
Yeah,
very, very cool. Um,
that did.
okay, so I would also love you know, I feel like what you've done is unique. I feel like we're going to see a lot more, really cool entrepreneurial younger people coming through the Shopify ecosystem. Um, what is one thing, if you could give people who are coming up with a new concept or they're about to launch on the Shopify App Store and they're going to be going into this e-com space, or maybe they're in very early stages of planning and everything like that, what would be your sort of key piece of advice to those younger entrepreneurs starting out that you wish you had have learned earlier?
Yeah, for sure. I'd say my piece of advice would be move with urgency and speed in every interaction.
Yeah,
Um, that's what wins. For that's what's helped us win a lot. Is can we be the fastest? Can we be the most urgent? Right? When dealing with clients, right? Like if you get on a call, like you want to move things along as quickly as possible, and if they ask you to send something on email, you send it immediately, and if they respond to you on email or text or Slack, you respond even if it's 12 a.m. at night.
yeah,
Like when you see anything from a client, from literally anyone, especially in the early days, like you respond no matter if you're no matter if you're out partying with your friends, like you respond to that message because you have
yeah,
urgency and you have speed, and that
yeah,
will always win. Because if you can get there quicker and you can do it at a speed that they don't expect, like that's a winning thing. So I'd say moving with that level of I want to close and I want to win now, like right now, like people see that and people resonate with that, and also just helps to build the business faster, in my opinion.
I love that, and it's kind of one of those things where it's you're showing the merchant that their success is as important to you
Yeah,
as it is to them, and I agree with that ethos. I try and anyone that I add to my team, at any organization that I've been at or within my own agency, I really had a thing about prioritizing replies. Like, even if you can't give an instant solution to whatever the request is, or you aren't able to give an answer straight away, replying and letting that person know a clear next step and when that will come, I think is so powerful. And unfortunately, in our industry, it is missed by some organizations. So I agree with that. I really resonate with that.
and
And
also
then,
like while
yep,
you're a younger organization, that's like the value that's the currency you have, right? Like if you're a bootstrap SaaS company, like you don't have too much power. But
Yes.
the power you do have is your time and
And your
your ability.
agility.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And like
absolutely.
that and your ability to iterate quickly and fail quickly. Like
Yeah,
when companies at our even at our size, right? Like we cannot iterate as quickly. We cannot fail. We still do because we operate extremely lean. But when we get, let's say, to 10 million ARR, like you cannot move as quickly as you used to when you were at $0, right?
yes.
So like you
Yeah,
have that ability to do whatever you want, really, and there's no consequences. So like,
yeah,
you have that, and like that's how you beat incumbents who have to move slower. And the goal is, like, as a company, even if you're at that 10 million, you can still move as agile as you were at $0. Most companies
yeah,
can't do that because they don't plan for it. We are going to be doing that because we know how important that is, but that's how you beat the incumbents, is you move quicker,
yeah,
really quicker, you fail quicker, and they're not taking those chances and they're not failing quicker, so you're going to beat them out.
absolutely. No, I love that. And can I ask too, like with whatever you're comfortable sharing, obviously publicly, you touched on a few good points there about the future, about still being able to be agile, still moving quick, still really focusing on serving merchants in the best way possible. Um, you know, pop-ups, engagement, quizzes, all of that sort of stuff. Super important. Gamification, like it's table stakes at the moment, which means that you are going to continue to grow as word, grows and everything like that. But what's next for Alia? Like um what do you see as like the key that's going to keep you, driving this growth, keep helping merchants?
Yeah.
And I think that'll kind of shape. I guess what I'm trying to interested to see is like, what are your thoughts for ecom in the future, and how are you applying it to Alia?
Yeah, for sure. And all everything for me comes from the amount of data that we have, right? And what can we do with that, right?
Yeah,
So when you're starting off, you have the issue that you don't have all the data to make great decisions and have great AI models because you
yeah,
don't necessarily have your own data. You can have other data that maybe you can use, but it's not your tested data. Now, in the
hmm
stage we're at, right, when you fast forward to today, we have 1,500 brands. We about every month we're getting about 120 million views of our pop-ups,
wow,
right?
yeah,
So that's a huge number, and meaning we have a lot of data. So when we think about how does our model create the best pop-up, how does our model predict what time to show the pop-up, how does our model iterate through all the tests, like, what time should it appear, what copy should be there, what images should be there, how should the buttons look, right? Like,
yeah,
we have a moat now that
yeah,
we have that data, and either other people who are younger than us don't have the data, or people who might be like, ESPs are not utilizing that data correctly and efficiently. So now we have
yeah,
this stage where, with the advances in AI, like, we can create pop-ups using our moat of a ton of great brands that we know what works for them. How can we apply the learnings and the insights in an automated fashion to every new brand that comes on? So the fifth brand number 1,501 is going to benefit from the other 1,500 brands that we have, and these other
yes,
1,500 brands are going to benefit from brand 1,501, because the new brand gets better with all of our old brands, and all the old brands get better with every new brand coming in. So that's
yes,
the future for us, right? Is like, we have this moat, we have this data. Now, how can we take those learnings in an automated fashion using AI and accelerate growth for our merchants? And that's the future that we see, and I think that's a future that is going to be the most important way to scale a business and stay relevant in the age of AI. And I don't think a lot of incumbents are doing it. And for that matter, I think we'll be able to knock them out. And the newer ones that are coming in, they don't have the amount of data that we have, so
yeah.
we'll beat them in that. And the incumbents, if they're not working on this, I mean, it's gonna be tough for them to compete too.
Well, I mean, you're eating their lunch like every second that we're sitting here, you're doing that. So I'm not, I'm sure you're as unworried about that. I mean, it's healthy to be aware of your competition, but I truly think that you've created enough of as you said, a moat, and you've carved out some blue ocean for yourself to be able to really, proceed and continue to grow. So I love to love to see that. And it sounds exciting. I mean, I think the AI scares a lot of people, but I also think if you utilize AI in a good way, and like I always say this, it's like AI is only as good as the ideas and the people behind it. You know what I mean? So it's like if you're putting in good ideas into AI and you've got the right people coming up with those ideas, then it's nothing to be afraid of. It's something to embrace. And it sounds like you've got that well thought out with the data and everything like that. So I love to hear that. Um,
Totally.
if a brand is looking today, say for example, Sean, they're sitting there and they're saying, "Hey, you know, my pop-ups aren't doing well," or like, "I want to be getting more out of, all of the new customers that are coming through top of funnel." What is the best place for them to get in contact with you to get a trial of Alia? Like, what's the best way that they can do that?
Yeah, for sure. And for more context of exactly what we do, we just do pop ups. So think
Yeah,
about if your Klaviyo pop up is converting at 2 or 3%, we can get that number up.
yeah,
We do 30 days free, where we would be able to create the pop ups for you, run the A/B test, and you can truly test it out without any worries of having to pay until after the 30 days if you choose to continue. Um,
amazing.
and that's the goal, right? Like if you're looking at your Klaviyo, your Attentive, your Omnisend account, you're like, damn, these pop-ups are not doing that well. Even if they are doing well, we can make them do much better. Do a
Yeah,
trial with us, and you will see that your opt-ins rate improve, and you will make more money when you become an Alia customer. Um, the best way to get in contact is our website, Alia Learn, ALIA Learn.com. You can go there, get a demo with someone from our team, or you can just sign up yourself and start the trial. You can self-serve, or you can speak to our team. Either sort of go with us. And yeah, 30 days free, and our pricing is, I believe it's fair, and I believe like you'll you'll feel that it's a good price after you do a trial. Honestly,
yeah, I think it's like your pricing model. I checked it out. I think it's like really good the way that it works, and the 30-day kind of like trial intro is like brands already get to see that ROI, and that's really important. I think the way that you shape it and do it is very clever. So congratulations
thank
on
you,
that
man.
as well. And just letting you know, I'll put all the links in the show notes as well. And
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
it's where's the best place for people to follow your journey too, right? Like I really
Yeah,
like the content you put out about what you're up to, what you're working on. You're very upfront and honest about that journey. I think that's quite inspiring. Is LinkedIn the best place for people to connect with you, or do you have another social channel you prefer?
yeah, for sure. LinkedIn, I post everything on there about our journey, and then on Twitter as well. I post a lot. So Twitter is at I am Shaan Arora, and then LinkedIn is just my name, Shaan Arora.
Awesome. No, nice. Cool, man. Well, look, I always close it out with this because we all travel so much in this industry. So I always like finding out. We always go to so many like conferences. I think we're probably one of those industries in ecom where we travel more than almost anyone else, especially if you're working with various teams globally and everything like that.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, you cannot say a person. But what's one thing that you cannot travel without? I'll go first to give you inspiration. Mine is this.
Who's that?
Everyone, portable batteries. So this is the
Okay.
best one that I've found out there in the market. It's completely waterproof. It's heavy enough for me to actually remember that it's, somewhere in my pocket or it's in my backpack. It gets about 3 laptop charges and about 4 to 6 phone charges total without before I need to charge it again. So that's mine. I can't be disconnected. I'm sure you're the same, but what's your thing that you can't travel without?
Yeah, I mean, there's just one book that I'm pretty much like obsessed with, and I read it like all the time. It's called Life of Pi. There's a very famous movie
Yeah,
about it too, but the book itself, I never travel without. Even I've probably read it like 8 times, but
wow.
I
Yeah,
resonate with it a lot, and I just love every part of it. And like every time I read it, I learn something new, or like I find something else that I think is cool. So I never travel without that. Even like, yeah, I know you're supposed to read different books, but I just like that book, and I just keep
no. Well, I have to say, I used to be someone who was like, really get through a book, get through a book, get through a book. And, I've read thousands of books in my lifetime. I started reading very like impactful, powerful books at a young age. And I think, you know, readers are leaders. But to your point on the repeatedly reading one, I think that is incredibly important as well. I have about 10 books that are kind of like always in circulation, even if I'm reading something new.
Right.
You know, like for example, I've just added another one back into my rotation is like Peter Thiel's 0 to 1. I'm constantly like looking back at notes that I've highlighted, and I may not reread the whole thing, but to your point, it's like going back to particular lessons. I think that's really important to do. So, no, I love that. I'll have to check that out. I have seen the movie, but I'll
Yeah,
be
yeah,
honest, I haven't read the book, so
yeah, the
I'll
book's good.
definitely take your lesson on that one. Perfect,
Yeah,
man. Well,
thank you.
look, I would love to do a part two of this in like a year time. I have no doubt that you're going to continue to skyrocket with ARR. And, you
Thank you.
know, as I said, I know some of the, you know, Chris on your team, and I really love seeing what you're doing. I think you're inspiring a lot of people. So, you know,
Thank you.
keep up the amazing work. And hopefully we can pick this conversation up, you know, middle of next year and talk about some of the things that are happening over at Alia and the growth that you're having. So congratulations, man. Thank you very much for coming on board. I'll make sure all of those links are below so that everyone can connect with you and follow the journey. And most importantly, if you're a merchant watching this, I highly encourage you to take advantage of this 30-day trial. You know at Growave how much that life cycle marketing and getting, you know, top of funnel sorted out is so crucial to building loyal long-term customers. So I absolutely implore you to go check out Alia's pop-ups. And it will help you regardless. So please take advantage of that. Link below. But yeah, man, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
on board, dude. I'm looking forward to catching up in person at some point too.
Yeah,
Um,
see you.
but I know you're super busy, so I'll let you get on with your day. But thank you so much. Appreciate having you on, Shan.
Yeah, thank you for the time, and you are an awesome host.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Cool, sure. Yeah.
Cheers. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Retain, Grow, Thrive, the Grow Wave podcast. As you can see, I really get excited in particular about the young founders that come in this podcast. I think what Sean and Alia are doing is just really game changing, and I think it's a testament to the Shopify ecosystem. As I said, if you're a merchant, please click the link below. I really encourage you to follow their journey and to check the product out. It will have a really positive difference. So thank you for tuning in. If there's another guest you'd like to see come on board, feel free to write in the comments or send us an email at joe.fox@growwave.io. And thank you for your time.